Arzy here with Foiling Magazine. We're at AWSI and have linked up with Appletree to get the inside scoop on their Apple skippers and their new line.
Yeah,
Sweet.
thanks for having us. So my name is Wieger. I'm a co-founder of Appletree Surfboards. We are a brand that you probably know because you've just visited our factory. If you scroll back a little bit back down, there's a great video where we show the whole factory and explain a little bit about the process. So we have our own factory, which makes us kind of unique, specializing in making full carbon boards. Started doing kite boards with the whole foiling craze. Our construction is perfect for foiling, and we're super specialized now and working with carbon fiber. So most of what we do at the moment will be carbon fiber. So yeah, all our boards are lined up.
Very beautiful. Yeah,
you can tell they're all pure carbon. There's no hidden glass underneath.
Yeah.
They're super high quality. Main benefits is basically that you're going to get a board that has a waterproof core,
right?
Which if you ding it, like, you really do not necessarily have to fix it. Do advise people to fix it, of course, because there will be sharp edges and stuff, but it cannot take on any water. As you can see, there's no air vents in them because of the waterproof foam. It's also airtight. Well, there's no risk of any overheating or pressure inside the board. So even now the sun's not so bright, but yesterday the boards got really, really hot and people are almost burning their hands, but they're still
really
never.
So it's not a problem. Laminate stays on there.
Zero issues.
That's
not a problem ever. We are
that's the biggest problem with boards, right? It's taking on water, delaminating, all that.
Yeah. And you never really know where the water goes, and it can really screw up your board from the inside.
Right.
And another thing is with our construction, you completely fuse the foil boxes to the board. So over the last 12 months, I think the amount of foil box failures that we have was maybe 3 or 4, and that was all due to the box actually breaking, not the construction. So the box itself, which was not made by us, was the thing that broke. And for this year, we've got our own box. So you can see the new boxes that we have. They're like 5 centimeters or 2 inches longer than the standard box, and they're completely designed in-house by my brother and our team. It's completely designed for foiling. So you got to understand, like, up to now, most of the boxes were actually longboards. Longboard surf boxes. Yeah. Like, you can imagine the difference between the pressure on such a box compared to a fin is crazy. So these boxes are actually designed for foiling. So they're really much thicker, heavier fiber contents, like way, way stronger. We expect, even less failures in these boxes. So they come in all our new boards now with the longer boxes. So that's cool.
Thick.
Yeah.
And so you've got a few sizes. So this is more of the dock-start kite foil pumping.
Yeah. So the new thing that we launched this year is the skipper range.
Right.
The skipper revolves around this concept of making a hull type that is. I'll start over. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's like. Je moet daar gaan zitten. Let's start again on the skipper.
No worries.
That's probably good.
All right.
So yeah, the new thing that we have for this year is the skipper range. Now the skipper basically revolves around the whole design that we've done that is purely made for deflection of the water surface, hence the name skipper.
Yeah.
And it starts in this small one. So they all have this sort of rounded bottom shape. That is sort of in this tip that's more pronounced the longer the board gets, what we get to later. And then the cool thing about it is that it has this sort of deflection bulge here and almost like a deflection hole shape. This actually sits lower than the foil box, that hits the water sooner and it sort of pops back up and it creates a release point. And it will be more pronounced in the other shapes. But it steps away from the planing hull flat surface and moves into this more of a release surface. So it's a different type of board, not really designed for planing speed, but more water surface speed. So it's more efficient through the water. This tiny size, like the small boards, is more for kite foiling, dock starting, wake is quite a big thing. These are heavier build than our earlier ultralight kite foil boards. These are more like to take a beating. They're really there to for bigger guys dock starting on massive foil. So these come in 3/4 and 3/10 sizes.
Okay.
Then when you move up, actually I don't have one here, but if you move up between these two, there's the prone size.
Right.
But there's also a prone foil that we've done quite a few of already, but it was just one too many to bring here. And then when you go up, you get into the wing foil size.
Yeah.
So these are the skipper wings. These boards are primarily designed as a sinker style board. So we don't do them too big.
Yeah.
You should really ride this board in somewhere 30% under your weight in kilos in as a volume. And what it does is like, this is a really rounded bottom. So compared to that, you can really see that it's more of that rounded. Still has that
rail.
Yeah, exactly. Still has that sort of displacement section there, moving into the boxes. What it does, it just gives the water flow around the board is super efficient. So it's really like a canoe through the water.
Exactly.
So it's actually really easy to get up to speed, but not the planing speed. So at some point you need to start sort of pumping it up. And that means that you need that release. So the skipper is really like, you can actually get this board to the surface with your wing and then start hitting it and pumping it a few times. And it doesn't matter that you hit the water surface a few times because it's still sort of, it doesn't lose speeds and it keeps back up. So it's a more aimed at the advanced rider who wants a sinker board, but really wants to be able to carve aggressively. So it's way narrower in the nose, this rounded bottom makes it so you can carve sharper turns, hit the wave, hit the water without slowing down.
Right.
So yeah, you can really aggressively
That's
ride.
cool how, the same concepts that work in smaller boards also carry over the bigger boards.
Yeah.
It's definitely a proof of concept that, these softer outlines and more of this skipping off the water motions are way
It's a different kind of concept that we're working on. Like right now, we're working with 3 different wing boards, which is a lot. But as a board-only brand, I think we're allowed to do a little bit more than maybe other brands. So make something more specific for a specific kind of crowd. These boards also have a ton of insert positions options. So you have an offset at the back foot, which really helps when you're like, for instance, I'm always riding the same foot forward. I don't foot switch when I'm wave riding because I just want to be able to go quick. Same. I always offset my back foot. So you have way more leverage over the foil. You can carve both toe and heel side easier. So these boards are really made for like more aggressive riding. Also really good for freestyle because of that release. Sort of when you land and pop back up, it's super, super smooth. Yeah. Super smooth that way.
That's incredible. And I see you have the downwind.
Yeah, so this is actually a newer version that we are working on, the downwind boards. And move it into frame a little bit. The downwind boards it's a tricky one, it's changing all the time. We're here now in the gorge and one of our riders is really, really good downwind. So we're experimenting with some newer shapes. I don't think they're 100% final yet. We're already making and selling them, but we don't want this product to be like a set product yet because it's still changing and we're still learning from also other brands.
And everyone is still
exactly. Well. And because we make every board basically to order, it doesn't matter. We can keep upgrading the boards as we go along. But generally, it's a similar kind of concept. It's just super elongated, so it has the same sort of bulge here. The displacement hull here is way more pronounced to really like deflect the water off when you're initially starting to get that water away and to sort of get that initial speed in the board. And then once it kicks up on the board, the foil should take over, of course. This one is really narrow, so it's just 18 inches wide for a 90-meter board.
How much volume is this one?
91.
Okay.
91
so smaller.
So smaller.
Rider, light wind winging.
Yeah, so the light wind winging, like I said, is it's a really important one for us as well. Really important market. Might eventually be bigger than the downwind supping because it's great here and it's great in a few places, but definitely not everywhere. So yeah, some stuff we're working on.
I'm really impressed by this line and the transition you guys have made to really soft curves and simplicity in terms of really getting the board off the water and getting the foil engaged as soon as possible. So it's incredible to see this line and the continued evolution of Appletree. And
nice.
It is very, the construction alone should, be selling you on this board. So very impressive.
And then to add to it, like if you get one custom made, like not a stock one, these are all black, but you can see there's also one with the yellow splashes. If you check out our website, we've got a bunch of options for colors and stuff. So if you're willing to wait a couple of weeks, we can make you a full custom and have it like completely your color. your name on it.
Only
So
a couple weeks.
yeah.
That's pretty good.
At the moment, it's about 10 weeks.
Yeah.
To be very honest with you, but
Yeah.
September.
There's
so
no
it's busy.
surprise. I mean, I'm sure it's very, very popular right now.
We try to get it back to 6 weeks as soon as possible.
But
which
still,
we will pretty
I
soon.
think that's the time range for everyone to get accustomed.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we need that time anyway
Yeah.
to get going.
all right. Thanks again.
No worries. Thanks for
Pleasure.
coming.
Of course.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Cheers.